abundance is right here on earth. And what do I mean by abundance? Now, is there a financial aspect to abundance? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We need money to live, to pay our bills, but that's not the only aspect of abundance. Abundance is, the totality of it, living free with a clear mind, peace. When you have peace is priceless. Mm-hmm. You're walking around, your thought process is not bottled down. Mm-hmm. You can think clearly. That right there is inner peace.
Hello, rich friends. Welcome to another episode of the New Rich Podcast. This is the #1 fastest growing podcast for entrepreneurs, coaches, and creators to help you launch and grow a successful business online. If this is your first time, don't let it be your last time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And we have a fantastic guest for you. If this is your first time, I'm Uyi Abraham, the host of the podcast. I have my co-host here with me, Dr. Faith.
Dr. Faith Abraham, welcome to the podcast, New Rich Nation.
Awesome. So how's your week been?
Oh, it has been a week, but things are coming together, things are shifting. I don't know if New Rich Nation, y'all put this in the comment section if you've ever experienced this, but where things are happening in the spirit and you feel it and stuff is moving fast and you're like, why do I feel like I'm in fast motion or something? But it's stuff is happening in the spirit. So it's been busy and a lot of great things have been happening, but I've just been I feel like I'm on Red Bull. Going like that, but it's been good though. So how about you? How about your week?
My week has been fantastic as well. It's a lot of moving parts going on.
Yes.
I'm planning for not just only the end of 2023, but also to 2024. And then working on this big event we have coming up in 2024 called Vonza Fest.
Yes.
So we're going to have 500 of the best creators, coaches, entrepreneurs in Atlanta for 2 days of training, networking, and coaching, masterminding, and just party. Because some of the entrepreneurs, we work so hard and we don't have enough fun. So
I'm going to be there for the party.
Yeah. So we have an all-in-one event in Atlanta, September, I think 20th and 21st of 2024. So if you are out there and you want to join us, please do so. The link is going to be on the bio right there. Go to vonzafest.com and register. So now let's get into the episode today. We have an amazing guest today.
We do.
All right. So now let's welcome Valerie Milner. Welcome to the episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We so love you and we love your story. Not only where you've come from, but where you're going and how you're taking people along with you. So that's why we always like to bring guests like Valerie to the show so that you also can remember and see that it's not where you start that matters. Mm-hmm. It's where you're going and it's where you end. And Valerie has a story like that. So how are you today? Welcome to the podcast.
I am well. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
We are happy to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Valerie Milner. I'm a transformational coach and a soon-to-be newly released author. I help high-achieving women cultivate their healing, and I help them rebuild their self-worth.
That's amazing.
That's very amazing because I think we were having this conversation the other day about how people don't realize that their self-worth or their confidence, their self-esteem is a direct contributor to the amount of money they make, the relationships they get into, the things that they tolerate and don't tolerate. I don't want to get to, go ahead. You let us know because we were literally having that conversation this week.
Absolutely.
So what would you say to that?
So I will say, maybe I'll just give you a little backstory of how I came into the transformational coach industry. Years ago, myself, I was in a very toxic marriage. I had to flee the country, Spain, to come back to the United States.
Wow.
Yes. So you were an expat. Living in Spain.
I was
born in America, living in Spain.
Yes.
And what part of Spain? Because we've been to Spain.
We have.
Yeah.
I was in a little small village called Rota, Spain, and it's really a military.
What province is it?
I'm not sure the province. I know it was Rota, Spain.
Okay.
And it was the United States Naval Base. Rota, Spain.
Okay.
So I was on a naval base.
Yeah, we've been to Malaga.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been to more places. I've been to Malaga. I've been to Barcelona. I've been to Tenerife. I've been to Madrid. We've been to Madrid too together. I've been to Madrid. Then I've been to Marbella.
Marbella.
We've been to Marbella. Marbella, Ponto.
Where was the water place that we went to?
That's Marbella.
Marbella. Okay.
Marbella. Yeah, I've been to Marbella. I think I've been to Valencia too.
Yeah.
So I've been around Spain.
Oh, yeah, you have. I've been in Seville.
Sevilla.
That's another place. Yeah, Sevilla.
Went to Sevilla.
No, I didn't go with you that time.
Yeah, I've been to Sevilla too.
Yes, I was.
I've been to Sevilla.
And I've been through Madrid. You know, I was just kind of passing through Madrid. That's like the main. I want to say like the capital.
The capital, yeah.
And I think Seville is really big with. Correct me if I'm wrong, with making the yadros over there. They're really.
The gyros.
The yadros. They're like porcelain figurines. And they're collectibles that people collect, and they're kind of pricey. So I think that. If I'm not mistaken, I think they make them in Seville, but they're called yadros, and you can get collections. You can buy them individually or as a collection. They're porcelain figurines, beautiful.
Wow! So you know Spain. You were there. You were living there, but then you ran.
Yes. I was there. My ex-spouse was military. We lived on a military base. Very toxic situation, and I literally had to flee with my baby. I had to devise a plan and flee to get back to the United States so that I could be with my family and be in a safe environment. What I did not know was that I did not know the uphill journey I had once I got back to the States. Wow. I'm thinking in my mind, okay, if I could just get home, that would be the end all to be all. But no, I did not realize that I had to go through, the healing process. I had to go through, the mental anguish, all of that. So once I got back to the States, I had to go through a series of therapy. I was there with my family. They supported me. But with therapy, family, and time, I was able to get on the other side of that trauma and do a personal transformation for myself. And it took time. It was not overnight. Healing is a journey. It's not nothing that happens overnight. And once I got back to the States, I was only in the States maybe a good 6 weeks. And then my son was kidnapped and taken back to Spain.
Wow.
So I had to live with that. And that was for a couple of years. So I actually lived without my toddler son for a couple of years.
Wow.
Yes.
So, so what does that, I can't even imagine what that feels like. Feeling like, okay, I made it to the other side. Yes. But then I didn't make it to the other side. Now my baby's over there. So now it's like this whole thing that you didn't even anticipate.
Yes. Well, so your question is what, like, how did I feel with the anguish, or how did it happen?
How did you feel? Yeah. And what were like some of the maybe tools, resources, or maybe mindset that you tapped into to work through that?
Oh my God, I was broken. My heart was crushed. It was not just broken into fragments. It was crushed. And I went through mental anguish. I went through physical, I was just broken on the inside. I would say that I was a shell of myself then because I had to live without my baby. And it was a process, I could not really do anything. I wanted to go back. My family begged me not because they was afraid they wouldn't see me again if I did. So I was dealing with that. So I did not. So yes, I went through a lot of anguish with that. In due time, he came back, and some of the things that helped me heal, and I would just give a couple of tips,
please,
on how to heal, just from whether it's post-divorce, whether it's church hurt, family hurt. But one of the things in healing is that you have to allow yourself time to grieve. Allow yourself time to grieve, because a lot of times, post-divorce, whatever it is, it's the equivalent of a death. It's the death of a relationship. Divorce is death of a relationship. It's not the physical death, like we know of the loved one, we never see them again, but it's the death of a relationship. So you have to allow yourself time to grieve. That's number one. And I would say too, practice self-care. You got to practice self-care. Do things that bring you joy. Whether, some people like to write. You could take baths, take walks, with nature, healing. And I'm just going to revert back to that, allow yourself time to grieve part. That right there, we really need to spend time there, because a lot of times, we as women, especially high achieving women, we hold up a wall and we want to pretend like everything is okay because we don't want people in our business, or we don't want people to think certain things. So we hold up this wall. So we really need to allow ourselves time to heal. We need to acknowledge that pain, sit in that emotion for a minute, feel it, so that you can go to the next level, because you cannot heal if you don't acknowledge it, acknowledge your emotions, acknowledge your pain. But we're not going to sit there, but we're going to acknowledge it.
Yeah. And I think that is the part where a lot of people are afraid. So what they'll do is they'll have the pain. They won't allow themselves to grieve, and they'll start doing, because if they can do, they can be distracted.
That's right.
So they don't feel it, but the pain is absolutely there, because our body remembers, it keeps score.
Absolutely.
So it's like dictating decisions that we make, decisions we don't make, opportunities we take advantage of. And especially for high achieving women, one of the things that I've seen, especially women who were in corporate America, just with coaching, a lot of them would not allow themselves to grieve not getting a promotion, or not being moved up, or, having the acknowledgement that they just duly deserved, but they didn't get it. It went to someone else. So then they just kind of started operating in this cycle where they never went up, almost like to avoid failure, or avoid the pain that was associated. Like, you can grieve a divorce, but you can also grieve loss of finances, loss of position, loss of a child.
Absolutely. And another aspect of that too with high achieving women. That's why high achieving women is really, I feel my calling, and because with that, a lot of times we cover it up with busyness. Oh, girl, I'm multitasking. I'm doing, and don't get me wrong, there is a place for that.
Oh,
don't get me wrong, there is a place. When we have children, we have careers, we do have to multitask, and it's a place for it. But a lot of times it's covered up with busyness. But are you really productive? Are you really working on yourself? Because just because you got your hands and feet in a lot of different things do not mean you're really being productive.
Wow.
And a lot of times we hide behind that shield as high achieving women. We look good on paper. Our resumes are the bomb.com.
Yes.
We have wardrobes to die for. We have educations, top tier educations. But when we get behind those closed doors, we take these wigs off, we take these lashes off, we take the makeup off. We're not that confident woman that the world sees.
Wow.
And that's what I found.
Vonza.com, Beauty and Faith. I want to say congratulations on just working hard, being entrepreneurs. You guys have a great website, and I want you guys to keep working hard. I've been to your website before, Vonza.com, and guess what? I'm going again. Keep up the great work.
That is so amazing. So you went from having a traumatic situation with your marriage and being divorced, and you literally had to run out of the country, and your son got kidnapped and all of all that stuff, and that kind of brought some situation with him, maybe trauma or something,
Absolutely.
right? So from there now to becoming the transformational coach that you are helping women. So what's changed from you? How did you become this transformational coach, or why did you want to start helping ambitious women? So what was that change for you from like, okay, all this thing happened to me. Now, obviously, you got yourself on track, and now you want to help other people. So what was all of that about?
Well, actually, just in conversation, having conversation with colleagues and just different people that I would want to run across. I've had a couple of women just in general girl talk. We would be talking, and like I said, the picture perfect of what society would say, and they would share certain things with me, and I would go back and sit in my car or in my office, and I would be like, oh my God, I would have never thought that about her. They would share something with me, confidential, and that was one of the things that led me to want to become and feel like I needed to become a transformational coach to help other women, because I saw where I came from.
Yeah.
And then I had several women come to me, just in girl talk, and would share something, and you never would have known that they were dealing with that inner heart issue. Mm-hmm. Not the outside external, the career and all of that, but those, unforgiveness, grudges, hurt, that had not been addressed. So that's what led me and once I got to the other side of my healing, I knew where I came from. I'm the walking testimony of the personal transformation. Yeah. And then I've had other women, conversations with them, kind of in my same category, not necessarily my same situation, but, high achievers, career women. And I've had conversations with women, and I knew then, okay, this is a need. This is a need here. And I know that I can address that need because I've actually went through that transformation.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's so necessary, right? So when you say transformation, what is that? What's the end result? Like, what can someone expect?
Yeah, what do you do? Maybe somebody's watching right now. They'll be like, okay, that sounds great, So what do you do for women or achieving women,
Okay, yes. Well, I help high achieving women be able to set boundaries, because that's a part of your building your self-worth. You look good on paper, but your self-worth is there. So we have to learn how to set boundaries. And that's something that I had to learn. No is a complete sentence.
Period.
You don't have to give an explanation. We need to learn how to say no to things that drain us. That's one of the things. Be able to say no to the things that drain us. Also, allow yourself time. Allow yourself time to heal. We want to refrain from dating again if you're coming out of a relationship. When you're trying to heal, one of the other things you could do in healing, and this is what I would help women to say and advise them, pull back from dating. Mm-hmm. Get to know yourself first, because a lot of times we don't even know ourselves. We're so busy accomplishing the world and conquering the world that we're not addressing our own self-awareness. Who am I? What are my values?
Yeah. Yes.
Reflect back on some of our past experiences, because some of those past experiences are we're holding on to stuff we have hurt and things, issues within ourselves that we're not even aware of. Mm-hmm. So stop for a moment. Start with the day. Get to know who you are. Become self-aware of your issues. And once you're self-aware of what's going on inside of you, know who you are, know what your values are, know what it is that bothers you, what hurts you. And once you're aware of that, then you can start implementing change with it. We can combat that, but we can't work on something that we're not aware of or that we won't admit that we're dealing with.
I feel like... because one thing that's been trending on social media is the whole list thing.
Yes.
What was the list
about the restaurants that ladies were saying that don't take me on these change restaurants.
How you feel about that? Are you one of those women?
I'm glad you asked me.
You gotta be. What's it called?
You gotta go to Ruth Chris on the first date, honey. Like you gotta go to Macchiato.
Abraham, for asking me. Let me oblige you. Yes. Well, my personal opinion, I do not agree with it. That list was humongous. It was like 50 restaurants on it. And I love practically all of those restaurants. I am a foodie, New Rich Nation. I love to eat. And don't get me wrong, I'm a girly girl. I want to be treated like a queen and catered to, but I'm also very realistic. And it doesn't take much to please me. I could go to, I might want some fries from McDonald's one day because I might just have a taste for McDonald's fries. Mm-hmm. But then I also like my Ruth Chris in my white linen tablecloth and like to be served. So no, I do not agree with that, Dr. Abraham. I think that I don't know who created that list, and God bless you, whoever created the list.
She's so sweet.
However, I'm just stating my opinion, but I believe that when you really know who you are and where you're going, and you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what you don't want, that stuff, that's very superficial.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's superficial.
Absolutely. It is.
It's superficial. And if I have a young man or a gentleman that, and he might not be able to afford Ruth Chris.
Even if he can. What's wrong about just going to Starbucks, for example, just have coffee and talk?
I think,
or take a walk in the park.
Listen.
Right?
I love Starbucks. Starbucks.
You know what I'm saying?
We've been married for 19 years. If he say, hey, baby, let's go to Starbucks, baby, I'm grabbing my purse. Okay?
That's right.
And because, and I feel like for first dates too, going for coffee is actually a very intimate date. It is.
You have deeper conversation. You're not distracted by servers, by food.
Yes,
by
making choices if you're so hungry. Because usually when you're going for coffee, you're sipping the coffee. It's very intimate. You're sitting right across from the person.
It is.
You know, you can really assess. And I think it's also that awareness within yourself. You can assess whether or not this is something that you want to continue in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And even for the guys, like you can really, if you're aware of yourself, sir, you can sit at a table and know, okay, I can see this. I can see her in my life for an extended, I can see her with being the mother of my kid or, okay, this is just a good time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you can have those conversations. Like, how long did it take for you to propose to me? About 3 months.
It was like 90 days.
Yeah. Wow. It was 90 days.
Yeah.
He knew. He knew. And we've been married, like I said, 19 years.
Congratulations.
13 years,
13 kids. You got some more work.
We are good. 3 kids. Prosperous businesses, profitable businesses. Now showing other people how to establish profitable businesses, legacy changing and generational curse break.
All the things.
All of the things. And our first date was Olive Garden.
I love and that's what I'm saying. Just to see, we could just go on forever on this list.
We really can.
But that is excellent, what you said, Dr. Faith, because that doesn't matter to me. I'm like, who cares?
Right.
I love Starbucks. I go to Barnes & Noble right now with my laptop.
Exactly.
Don't
Don't go.
That's what I do. I go to, matter of fact, it's in my car when I leave here because I got some stuff to do working on my business. I will be sitting in Barnes, and that's what I do, guys. So that list, I love Cheesecake Factory, Rich Nation.
Listen,
it's like
it's 33 different flavors or something like that. I mean, they have all the flavors.
They have so much to choose from. But I just seriously speaking, it's
So do you feel like? Let me ask you a different question. Do you feel like some of those women are so, in my estimation, superficial? They need like transformational coaching. They need therapy.
I think that they really could use some coaching because it's really revealing something about yourself.
Wow. Go ahead.
It's revealing that, about, that self-awareness that I was talking about, really looking within. Where is this coming from? Why is it that you feel the need to be wined and dined, on the first date and the person don't even know you?
Wow.
That's an issue.
Wow.
That some of us might not be aware of.
Right. Because wouldn't you say, okay, this is a really great conversation.
Absolutely.
Because, a lot of times when you see women who have a lot of difficulty relationally, there is transformation that needs to happen in the mindset.
Absolutely.
When there's people who have issues financially, it's also a mindset issue. And it seems like it's a lot of projecting. Like that's one of the best ways to get into a toxic relationship, is it not? Like where you have someone who's like constantly like just love bombing you and gifts and this and trips and eats and clothes and this and then it's easily taken away. And then you're like, oh, what happened?
Absolutely.
And that's a great way for people to be manipulated.
It is. Well, you're being bought. Believe it or not, you're being bought. So who wants to be bought? Not a complete, healthy, whole woman.
You speak on it. Go ahead. You got the mic.
Not a complete, healthy, whole woman wants to be bought. You can't buy me, with a Ruth Chris steak. You can't even buy me with the Rolls Royce, as expensive as it is, because I'm priceless. And that's not a brag. It's not a brag. It's not a dig. It's just you're looking at a complete transformed woman from a broken, low self-esteem state that I was in to a healthy woman now. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. None of us are, and healing is a journey. As long as we live, I'm a student of life. We're going to always be learning. We always can gain something extra point from someone, but you can be better and you can be healthy. You can go from being broken to being healthy, not perfect, but healthy. And that's my goal. That's what I want to help women, to realize that There's nothing wrong with having the finer things in life. I love the finer things in life.
Yeah.
I would love to be lavish and ride, driving the best cars and go to the best trips. That's, who doesn't want that? But at the end of the day, what's really important? What's really important? When we get to the end of our life, and I always ask the Lord to help me, allow me to live, a long life. I come from a family, a legacy of women that live long lives. My great aunt was 105. My grandmother was 98 when she passed. So the women in our in my family live long lives. But what's most important, when it's time for us to leave here, we're not going to say, "Oh, I wish I had bought that latest Bentley." Mm-hmm. When you're on your deathbed, you're going to think about the memories.
Yeah,
it's going to be memories, And I want to die empty. I want God to just allow my gift to flow. I want to help women.
Yeah.
Achieving women, I want to die empty. I think it was, I don't know if it was Miles Monroe or someone stated that the cemetery is the richest place on earth because people die with their dreams and hopes and businesses that were never established. So I'm going on a tangent here. But.
Yeah, it's a good tangent.
This is amazing, guys. I mean, Valerie is an amazing transformational coach, and so your focus is, you can help any woman, right?
Absolutely.
But your focus is ambitious women. Why so?
Well, I say how, and like you say, any of us can use, assistance or whatever. But I focus on how to, because that has been myself. I'm teaching and helping women from a place that I came from. So I know it firsthand, 100% of what it's like to be just broken. So I'm on what I call a freedom movement. Free yourself. Free yourself from the bondage of, low self-esteem. Free yourself from, a broken heart, issues that you haven't healed, that unforgiveness, the grudges, free yourself. So I want to focus on the high achieving woman because we have that, a lot of us, not all, have that wall up. We're very successful in all the areas outside of ourselves. And we need to focus on ourselves first. Let's do some self-reflection. Let's do some self-awareness. Let's look in the mirror and put down the facade and deal with those inner heart. Let's do the inner heart work. And when you do the inner heart work, then you're free because, you're free from that internal baggage, Right. So that's why I focus on high achieving women, because we have everything going on perfectly, appears to be perfectly on the outside, but the inside, a lot of us are suffering.
Wow.
So once someone goes through that transformation, what could they expect to see like in their lives? What would be like,
that's good.
Oh, this thing is working. Oh, this is working.
Yeah, because people want to see that, right?
Yeah.
Because
like a tangible
it has to be tangible result. Because that's one of the things that, especially in our culture, sorry to say, in the Black culture, we are so sometimes a little bit superficial, right? Whereby things have to be seen for us to believe, right? Some other cultures, they pay a lot of money for coaching.
Oh,
right? People pay Tony Robbins $50,000, $20,000 to walk on fire, right?
Wow.
They're not asking like, oh, but what am I going to get in return, right? What am I going to see happen? For our culture, many times, we have to kind of show them or tell them because they'll be like, okay, when I get transformational coaching, how does that help my life? What would change, right? So maybe somebody's watching the New Rich Nation right now and be like, yeah, Coach Valerie is amazing, but I need to see what's the end result? What's going to happen to me if I choose to work with her, right? So maybe you can just kind of shed some light on the end result, right?
Okay, yeah. Well, one of the things, once you go through your personal transformation, you will see increase in your self-confidence. You will see increase in your self-confidence and also improve self-well-being, emotional well-being. You will feel lighter. And that's not something that you could see, but you will feel lighter. When you get over, all of us have dealt with grief before. Let's just use this as an example. All of us have lost someone that we loved at some point in life. And you know what that feels like when you're in the trenches of it. Well, as time go on and you begin to heal, it don't hurt as much. You don't think of the person quite as much. I'm not saying you don't think of them, Now you have your ebbs and flows. We have good days and bad days, but as time go on, you don't hurt as much. So you begin to feel lighter. So I would say increase self-confidence. You will improve your self-well-being once you come through this complete transformation, and you will feel lighter. Those are like the top 3 things. And there are others, but those are the top 3 things that you could actually, you will feel. It's more of a feel and a release, if you will, you know.
And I think even in that release in the emotional capacity allows for us to do a lot more. Yeah. Because if you're overloaded emotionally, it's hard for you to see, opportunities, see positive relationships.
You just made me think of something.
Come on.
Absolutely. Okay. That's right. Yeah, it also allows you, like you say, think clear, and you can make better decisions.
Yes.
You're able to make better decisions when you're freer and you're not bottled down, internally. You're able to see opportunity. It will give you an increased sense of discernment, meaning that, I think the Bible says, and I might not be quoting it correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, about that we should be meek as a dove, but wise as a serpent.
Be as gentle as a dove.
As gentle as a dove. And as wise as a serpent. It increases your self discernment, because once you're free from that internal baggage, you can see clearly, you can hear clearly, you can hear your thoughts. You can hear your thoughts clearly. And when you think clearly, you make better decisions. You walk into situations with more confidence. You know who you are. And we're supposed to be meek, but we are supposed to be wise. And when you're wise, you have your head on a swivel. You are aware of your surroundings. You also, a lot of times, for those that are spiritual and that are Christians, you can detect and discern certain spirits. So it's so much intangible things that you cannot see that comes with this. And that's the thing about personal transformation. There are a lot of intangible things as well, but the tangible things would be the increased self-confidence. You're more aware of things. You make better decisions. So those are some of the, the benefits of just being healthy, heart-wise.
You said something too. You said your mental is clearer.
It is.
And one thing, I dealt with low self-esteem and lack of confidence. Grew up super skinny, big eyes. My ugly duckling
beautiful.
Okay, that's now.
I got you.
Now. But back then, I didn't feel that way. I wasn't the trending beauty, typical
what
beauty. Exactly. Yeah. So that opens you up to being teased.
Yeah, of course.
And I internalized that for many years. But one of the things I noticed, after going through a healing journey, not even after, I'm still on my healing journey forever, right? But
we all are to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
To be honest.
Yeah. But I'm definitely light years.
That's right.
Quantum leaps ahead.
You're healthier.
From where I would, much more.
Yes.
And one of the places I noticed I was healthier was my mental space.
That's it.
The chatter that I used to have, over analyzing myself, being very critical of myself, replaying words. It sounded like it was coming from me, but it wasn't me. It was stuff I had internalized.
That's right.
And it's like my brain flipped it into my own voice. So I would talk to myself the way other people would talk to me, which would be out of spite, out of jealousy, just plain sheer rudeness, or even just not happy with the favor on the girl's life. You know what I'm saying? But I internalized it, and it sounded like me, but it wasn't me. But when you start getting healthy, the way your mind gets clearer,
absolutely,
and you start seeing things,
it's like, nothing like it.
It's so free. It's like you feel like you're floating.
You feel free. You feel light.
Yes.
That's what I call feeling light.
Light. That's
you feel light. Okay. And another tip in, developing, building your self-worth too, just listening to you talk about stuff playing in your head, is that we have to learn how to implement, positive self-talk. We have to learn how to implement positive self-talk. And what I mean by that is when these negative thoughts come to our mind, and get me, we can't control the thoughts that come into our mind, but we can control whether or not we let it sit there and fester.
That's right.
So once we learn, to cultivate that positive self-talk, in other words, when that negative thought comes, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, or whatever issue we're working on, we have to learn how to counter that with a positive thought. And, think about what you are good at. If you make good grades and you smart, well, you know what? I'm smart. You know what I'm saying? You turn that around and you talk about your strengths.
Yeah.
That's right.
You turn it around. You talk about your accomplishments.
Yes.
We have to learn to be our own cheerleader. That's my little saying. I am my own cheerleader.
Yes.
Because God will help us, but you have to learn how to help yourself.
Yes.
And when you do things to help yourself, speak positive to yourself, turn those negative thoughts around, flip that around to something and we all are good at something. You might can bake the best cake.
And if you do, let me know.
So that positive self-talk really helps with that self-worth.
I think it does. I completely agree wholeheartedly. But I know a lot of people feel like, oh gosh, she gonna say some cliche. Everybody says that. But I don't think people really realize, like, when you read the Bible and you read it from a place of mental health, you see how throughout Old Testament, New Testament, throughout, where God is telling us about our mental state, casting down every vain imagination.
That's what that is.
Itself, right? That's what that is.
That's what that
Catching
is.
those thoughts, right? Positive thoughts. He said, think on these things that are lovely, that are just, that are pure, that are holy, that are true. I think I'm missing one or two. Think on these things.
Think on these things.
And it's like, so the mental warfare is a real thing. It's
real.
It's so real. It's there.
It is.
And it's like, whoa, I didn't even realize that my mental state could project itself out into my life and my livewhood. That is powerful. You are really doing a good work here, because a lot of people, I think, especially like you were saying, in our culture, we've had to overcome so many things that were external, that I think we're finally getting to a place of realizing that a lot of the external stuff could be traced back to the internal.
There you go. There you go.
We haven't had that freedom, especially I would say Black Americans, people of color in the United States.
Absolutely.
We haven't had that freedom because there's always been this stuff happening, but then there's this other war that's happening within. And you're like a champion, a pioneer for the state of what's happening within.
That's right.
And transforming it. Woo! You are doing a good work. I love this.
And that's why I've developed a challenge.
Yes. Tell us about
that.
That's why I developed a challenge. It's the 3-day challenge, is to live in freedom and abundance.
Yes.
Because everything is, what we're talking about is freedom. And freedom is letting go those things, the chains, the things that are bounding us down on the inside. And that's that inner heart work. Like we were talking about, those thoughts that come into our mind, the grief that we're dealing with from a bad relationship or a lost relationship. And, we want to be free from that. And so my 3-day challenge, we're going to talk about those different things. We're going to talk about how to fortify your mindset, how to improve yourself, your well-being, how to increase your confidence levels, how to set boundaries. All of these things will help free you and clear that inner heart work. And abundance, living in abundance. I don't believe that we have to die and go to heaven before we can live in abundance.
Come on.
Abundance is right here on earth. And what do I mean by abundance? Now, is there a financial aspect to abundance? Absolutely. We need money to live, to pay our bills, but that's not the only aspect of abundance. Abundance is, the totality of it, living free with a clear mind, peace. When you have peace is priceless. You're walking around, your thought process is not bottled down. You can think clearly. That right there is inner peace. It's a part of inner peace. So so the 3-day challenge it's really dedicated for high achieving women, that want to learn tips and strategies on how to begin to heal, how to begin to build your self-worth. And it's going to be amazing. I invite you to register for it.
Awesome.
Okay.
So when is the date and the time and the link for people to register?
Absolutely. The 3-day challenge, the dates are December 12th through the 14th at 7 p.m. You can register. You can find the link on my Instagram bio, and that's Valerie Milner, MILNER _21. The link is in my bio to register. It's absolutely free. You could also find me on YouTube. That's Valerie Milner. And I would love for you to visit me on my website at valeriemilner.com.
Wow, that's amazing, right? I mean, you definitely need Valerie in your life. You need transformational coaching. You need help with, going through and uncovering those things that hold us back, right?
Yeah.
Because success is a inner work game, right? It's not external, it's internal. Many times it's those issues, unresolved issues that is holding people back from their next level, right? Maybe you're trying to move up in your career, trying to be more successful in your business. You're trying to, build more healthy relationships, right? You're trying to just be a better person, right? All this is tied to that personal transformation that you have to do on the inside. But the thing is that most of the time, none of us can do it by ourselves.
That's right.
Right? Because when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we see our own reflection, right? We need another person, right? That is qualified and trained and equipped, such like Coach Valerie, to help us to overcome those things. One of the things that's very common now, even with CEOs, is now there are a lot of like VCs and funding companies and stuff that before they even fund a company now, is a requirement that the CEO must be in some kind of coaching or therapy.
Wow.
Because they see now that.
That's powerful.
Because they see now that many times, these building successful companies destroys people.
Yeah.
It destroys them internally. It destroys their home, their family, their marriages.
Wow.
Many of them become drug addicts. They become just weird people, right? Because many times, when you're dealing with stressful stuff, ambitious women always dealing with stressful stuff, you need a coach. You need a mentor. You need somebody that you can talk to so that can work things out with you. So what you're doing is very excellent. What is something you're going to share?
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Well, you said that about the CEO and about it being very stressful. I even know of an experience from that. One of my last careers jobs, I used to work for MARTA, MARTA. And our CEO, God rest his soul, he was a wonderful man. Our CEO committed suicide.
Wow.
He committed suicide at the train station, jumped in front of a train. And so when you talked about success and the stress level and everything, and that's why, I really have a heart. I have a heart for all women. I'm girl power all the way, but I really have a heart for high achieving women because it's a level of stress we carry. We're doing so much, we're accomplishing so much, but we're not taking care of ourselves on the inside. And yes, my CEO, that was such a shocker to us.
Yeah.
I had just saw him on the elevator. He was a very pleasant man. You wouldn't have never thought. And that's what I was saying about some of the women I've had conversations with, and they would share something with me, and I would be taken aback by, because you would looking at the outer shit, you would never see it. And so that and just another tip for healing, and I hope I hadn't lost my train of thought. I had so much going on in my mind where you were talking about the support. Another thing to help with your self-worth is that as women, we need to surround ourselves with people that can provide support. Yeah. That's another part of building that self-worth. People that can provide you, or healing as well, can provide you with comfort. You need to be around people that would comfort you, that speak life into you, give you important, helpful tips. So all of that. We need that support.
Wow, that is so powerful. So if you're out there and you are an ambitious woman or an ambitious person, you need to connect with Coach Valerie, and she has a powerful challenge coming up. At the time you're watching this video, I think there will be enough time for you to register. I'm going to put a link to our challenge and a link to our website on the YouTube thing right there. So make sure you connect with her. I think it's December 12th to 14th.
Yes, December 12th or 14th.
December 12th to 14th. It's absolutely free for you to register. Of course, there'll be opportunity for you to upgrade to VIP if you want to. But if you don't want to, you can register for free and get coached by Coach Valerie for free for 3 days so that you can get that help, that transformation, that support that you need to accomplish greater things in 2024. So, Dr. Faye, what else would you like to add as we wrap up the episode?
I just want to remind us all that success is an inside job. And the more we run away from it, the more we are abandoning and running away from the success that is meant for us.
Absolutely.
Because we are all meant to be successful in one way or another. That's the way we contribute to the world. So don't run from the inner work. Do the work and have your success.
Awesome. So, Coach Valerie, that's your camera. So can you just look at that camera and just speak maybe a word of empowerment or encouragement to an ambitious woman that is watching right there?
Yes, I guess I would like to close with, and there's so many things, but I would say first, just, take that time to make a decision, decide, say, what do I want? Do I want better for myself? What do I want? Do I want better for myself? Do I want to be the best version of myself? And once you make that decision, then number 2, devise a plan, how am I going to go about fixing this hurt that I have? How am I going to go about healing? Devise a plan. Hire a coach, a counselor, a therapist, whatever you need to get to that next point. And I would say number 3, execute, take action. Once we have a plan, we need to take action. We have to we have a human responsibility to take action. You might not have all the answers. None of us do all the time, but take that first step. Just step out on faith and say, I'm going to take action on this and do something for myself. So I would say make a decision, devise a plan, and execute.
Wow. Make a decision, devise a plan, and execute. That was amazing. Wow. So one more time, please, can you tell the people where they can find you, connect with you?
Sure. Again, I'm Valerie Milner. You can reach me on Instagram at Valerie Milner _21. The link to my free challenge is in my bio there. I am also on YouTube at Valerie Milner, and that's MILNER. And you're welcome to visit my website at valeriemilner.com.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for watching Nourish Nation. If you are just watching right now, this episode is brought to you and sponsored by Vonza.com, the only one platform that makes it easy for you to make money online. Vonza simplifies your online business by giving you all the tools you need for your business to grow and to thrive. From your courses, your digital products, community, membership, website, funnels, pretty much all in one tool. Is a one-stop shop for creators. So visit Vonza.com and get started with your online business. So Nourish Nation, until next time, you just heard what Valerie said. Make sure you work on yourself and get the help that you need so that you can be all that you've called to be. All right. We're going to see you next time. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Ciao.